this. I just wanna be the best that I could ever be, just the very best in me. And now I know I'm blessed.
Hey, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, guys. So today I am going to be doing a better insight video into this EOS Rebel T6 camera by Canon. And I actually got this camera yesterday, so I already made an unboxing video on it. That's why it is not inside of the box right now. But anyways, let's go ahead and just like open this. So some of the things about this camera that I really like is the fact that you can connect this phone to your connect this camera to your phone through the Canon camera app, or it's called Canon Connect, I'm sorry. So you can connect your phone through that app, and this is how you pretty much will sync up your phone to the camera so you can control it. The only downside is that you cannot do videos from that app. You can only do pictures, but for it to do pictures, it takes really good ones. So that's the plus side. Say you have a huge number of people that want to get into that one photo. The remote control feature on that app would be perfect for that. So with that being said, looking at some of the features of this camera, this is pretty much the little area here. Let me see. So this is where you would put like your microphone. You could put your USB port. You could put your HDMI for your TV. That's the area there. On the underside here, let me see if I can even like show you guys. Yeah, this underside here is where you're gonna put your battery. That's where you're gonna put your memory card at. So the only difficult part to it really is that you have to kind of like insert your finger on one side and still be able to pull this little latch right here, and that's how you pretty much get that open. So anyways, moving forward. Sorry about that, my finger is in the way. Alright, so right now I currently have my thing set to movie, so that's why it looks like this. But there are a bunch of different functions that you can go through. As you can see, it has the night portrait, and it does recommend a tripod use with this one. You could do food, you could do sports. So say you have someone in the picture that's like moving around or anything like that, it makes it really easy for you to catch that. A close-up is, I'm gonna say it's like one of those like selfie beauty things that you usually do on your phone whenever you do the front-facing camera. You have your landscaping, your portrait. Again, it's going to be the same thing because it actually blurs out the backgrounds. So it makes your face stand out more, your hair stand out more, and it kind of like softens that overall view. So that's a good thing about that. You also have the creative auto. So this is kind of like where you can do like your little color pops and all that stuff like that, which I think is pretty neat. For people that want to use their camera, say in areas that recommend you don't like use your flash or whatever. I've been to the Army Museum where I live at, and I was told that you couldn't take pictures if it had the flash on, which kind of sucked. But then at the same time, I understood exactly where they were coming from, because if something's going to ruin material like that, then I really would just strongly advise not to even do it. You have your scene intelligence auto, or intelligent auto, sorry. Alright, so you have your program AE. And I'm just kind of like going through so you guys can like see exactly which one. Which that's another plus side to this camera, is when you're going through the different functions that it has, it gives you a detailed description of like what are you already on, pretty much. Alright, so up here is where my shutter comes in. I meant not shutter, my flash, I'm sorry. This pops up whenever I set it to do a flash picture. So let's go back to just a normal camera. And also, you don't always have to look through just this screen here. You have your lens right here that you can look through. And if you press this button, you're actually going to hear it as soon as I push it. So that click that you just heard, now you can either shut this off so that way you can see through it, or you can just leave it on. That way if you want to zoom in and get more of an idea of what you're looking at, which either way works for me. I can do either one, no problem. For your delete, I can go and hit my playback button here. So this is just a picture of me. I was just fooling around with my camera. You can go ahead and hit delete. Go ahead and scroll over. You can hit erase. Of course, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm going to go back to cancel. And then let's go back out. So now we can go over the settings. So pretty much how you're going to get to do your Wi-Fi to connect to your phone is you're going to go all the way. All these different icons that you see are for different things. So you have stuff for your image quality. You have stuff if you want to do like a live view shot. If you want to protect your images, rotate them. If you want to do print order, photo book setup, you have creative filters. So let's say I go to creative filters and it says only compatible with, let's see, IMGs displayed. All right, so you have the option to resize. You can do a whole slideshow. You can do rating. All right, and it automatically powers off after 30 seconds. So you can set it whichever way. I prefer to leave it on 30 seconds because I will set this camera down and probably walk away for 15 minutes, not even realizing, hey, look, the camera's still going. It's still on. Of course, when I first got the camera, I did have to format my memory card. The good side to me was pretty much I didn't have a lot of images that I was too worried about losing. So that was not an issue at all. You can control your LCD brightness, your LCD on and off. You can go ahead and set it to your time zone, your language, and if you want your feature guide on. So when going here to do your Wi-Fi, you're going to go ahead and hit enable as I've already done. So to get back out of this, you're going to go ahead and hit the menu button. You're going to go down to Wi-Fi functions. Now, the Wi-Fi functions, you can either connect to another camera, you could do a smartphone, you could do a Wi-Fi printer, or you can upload to web service. So to connect to my phone is pretty simple. Like I said before, you will need that Canon Connect app. So if you don't have that already on your phone and you have this camera, I strongly advise you to download it because that's the only way you're going to be able to connect it to your phone. It will give you its own Wi-Fi address as well as its own Wi-Fi passcode. So once you have that all set up, you would have to go back into the Canon Connect app, and that's how you make your that click was, again, my camera after 30 seconds it times out. But that's how you'll be able to make your connection between your phone and your camera. So again, let's just stand up here. Some of the features I have on this little turn down here. You do have your flash button. If you don't want to use it, that's completely fine. Now, I think that this is more like for exposure. At first, I swear I thought it was for like volume control. However, after turning it, I noticed that I was not getting a higher volume than what was already set. So I'm just going to go ahead and inform you that the volume button is this little dial right here. You turn it to the right if you want your volume up. You can dial it back to the left if you want to turn your volume back down. The little button here is, of course, where you're going to take your shot at. So let's see what happens when I do this. So okay. All right, and then we're just going to go ahead and just hit that button on the front. Now, I actually have this set to a 10-second timer. That's the little countdown that you see right here in the corner. All right, so now, as you can see, all you're looking at right now is my background, pretty much. That's what you see on this video. And then to go ahead and say the image did not come out correct, you want to delete it, you'll go ahead and hit this playback button, go up here to this AV plus negative trash can, and throw it out. So no problem at all. As far as the record button, there have been a few times where I've tried to like record on this camera and I've completely forgotten. So if you have it set to, it will not record a video if it's left on this A. You have to go to the video camera over here. That is the only way you can do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and inform you of that. But overall, I think, let me see, can I turn this around here? Just so you guys can see like how amazing this camera really is. Like, I think it's a pretty good camera. In my opinion, I really do. So you have your stabilizer, you have your AF, your MF. I usually leave this on AF. It seems like it just provides better pictures for me. Autofocus. You could do a manual, but I don't want to go through the hustle and bustle of really sitting there trying to make it focus. It just depends on what I'm doing exactly. And then this does come with two different lenses. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab the other lens so you guys can see it. Alright, so this is the other one that it came with. So I've got my lens cap. It does come with a little cap on the back. So I would strongly advise keeping up with these guys. Just because when you screw this one off and get ready to screw this one on, you don't want to have a bunch of dirt and everything trapped in there that has completely messed your lens up. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe these lenses are like $100 a piece. So that's a pretty hefty price to have to pay for simply not putting a lens cap back on or the right equipment to protect it with. Once you get this camera, because of the kit that I bought, it did come with, like I said, for 2 lenses. It does come with this nice little neck strap, so you don't have that to worry about at all. I do have a USB cable, and this is the cable that I have. So it's gonna go exactly with this camera with no problem at all. But guys, that is pretty much it. Once you start using this camera, it's a pretty simple camera to navigate. I would advise most people, if you're having problems, to of course look at the manual. I actually had to do it last night, so I'm not ashamed to admit that at all, because it was my first time actually in possession of this camera. But guys, that is pretty much all I have for this. So until my next video, guys, peace.